Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
And welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. It is February, and of course, everybody thinks about Valentine's Day in February. I don't know. Are you thinking about Valentine's Day? There was something very time-worthy that was on the news this morning where online dating has surpassed any other type of dating presently being done by young lads and young gals in society today. Well, my guest this hour is going to let us know how we can get it right before Valentine's Day. Dr. Alice Chan is our special guest. She's a sought-after teacher, speaker, business consultant, and relationship expert. Her latest book is Reach Your Dreams, 5 Steps to be a Conscious Creator in Your Life. And Dr. Chan, welcome to the X-Zone.
Hello, how are you doing?
We're doing great, thanks. February, love, Valentine's Day. What is the secret that keeps people from finding that very special person in their lives, the one of their dreams, their soulmate?
Right. So a lot of people that I've come across, they think that they want love. And in some ways they do. But what they don't realize, that's the secret, is that they're holding beliefs within themselves that's keeping them from getting that.
So are you saying that at times we truly are our worst enemies?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the sad part, because we actually all have the power to change that. And I'll give you a very specific example that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. This comes from a few years ago. I met this woman, very smart, very beautiful woman, an accomplished attorney, and she really wants love. And what she says is, there are no men left for me. All the good ones are taken. Now, with that consciousness going around, what she ended up doing is that she would get set up to go on dates, and she has this impenetrable wall about her because she's looking for all the reasons why this guy is wrong for her. So even though on the one hand, she really wants love, but what she's set up to believe and how that drives her behavior is that she's looking for all the reasons why this person is wrong, because her underlying belief is that all the good ones are taken.
So why is it a successful attorney like the person you were just telling us about already had it in her mind that all the best men were gone, and that in fact what she was doing was creating her own doom and gloom?
Right. So she is actually a very common tale. I'm sure that everybody listening can relate to that. It's society in part. It's how we're raised. And partly with really successful singles in particular is that they spend so much of their lives building one part of their lives to really build up their self-worth. but they never really get to the bottom of matter, is to really understand the person that they are and what they have to offer. And so when they get to a certain age and their career is really taking off, they never actually nurture that part of themselves that really wants love. And so they have this conflict between their identity. On the one hand, they're this really powerhouse, successful career person, and yet the other half is this unnurtured girl who doesn't really understand how much she's worth, and she just believes all these messages around her that by this time, if she's not already married, then really all the good guys are taken, and that's why she's not. She isn't.
All right,
married.
Dr. Chan, stand by. You and I have to take our 2-minute commercial break. We'll be right back. Exonation Dr. Alice Chan is our special guest. She's the author of Reach for Your Dreams, 5 Steps to be a Conscious Creator in Your Life. Her website is www.dralicechan.com. And the good doctor and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break as the X Zone continues with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go.
This is Kevin Randall. For nearly 30 years, I have been investigating the case of the Roswell UFO. I have interviewed hundreds of people and stood on the crash site. Now in Roswell in the 21st century, I have reviewed dozens of hours of audio and videotaped interviews, examined hundreds of files that relate to the crash, and have returned to Roswell in an attempt to put all that information into the proper perspective. For the first time in Roswell in the 21st century, I have made a dispassionate reevaluation of all that material and provide a new look at what happened. This is a book that clears away all the clutter that has hidden the truth for so long, strips away the various lies that surround the case, exposes the Air Force attempts at cover-up, and found a core of solid information that tells us all where the case stands today. Roswell in the 21st century will be available in just a few weeks. For more information, please visit my website at www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com.
Gibbs A. Williams, Ph.D., is a practicing psychoanalyst, supervisor, researcher, and author in New York City. Much of his life has been dedicated to understanding nature and the uses of meaningful coincidences or synchronicities. His radical and original non-Jungian, non-mystical, non-magical theory of synchronicities illuminates much of the fog surrounding this challenging and perplexing topic. His ideas and manners are fresh, presented in a style that is both entertaining and highly informative. He is also an expert on crisis intervention, specially focused on violence reduction for the police and citizens, mastering anxiety, frustration, and stress without the use of medication, and effectively preventing and treating heroin addiction. Dr. Williams can be contacted at his email address at gwwilliamsny11@aol.com or visit his website at www.drgibbswilliams.com.
This is Johanna Carroll, host of Dialogue with Divinity on the X Zone Broadcast Network. While walking along Kaanapali Beach in Maui this past year, I kept discovering all these shells and coral in the shape of hearts. My dialogue with Divinity was very simple. Do you want me to do a retreat to heal people's hearts in Maui next year? And of course, the answer was yes. As a master spiritual teacher, I am offering you a neat retreat called Rise, May 8th through the 12th, 2017, and the chance of a lifetime to rest at a 5-star resort for 5 days and experience a spiritual renewal of your heart and soul. Kaanapali is one of the top 5 beaches in the world. This stunning resort has undergone a $40 million renovation. I walked the entire property, checked out the room choices on your behalf, and I must say it is stunning. Our conference room faces the ocean with sliding glass doors. Maui is known as Mother Maui because it is a soft, gentle, healing energy. In the embrace of Mother Maui, you will feel yourself rising from the limitations of an ordinary life to an extraordinary journey of peace, bliss, and harmony. A greater sense of clarity. Our Rise retreat ignites renewal in the sacred elements of air, water, earth, fire, and wind. There's plenty of free time to enjoy all that Maui has to offer. A small deposit is required now to reserve your space, as this retreat, it will sell out. For more details, please go to johannacarroll.com and register today. Aloha, and I'll see you in mystical Maui.
X Zone Nation, Dr. Alice Chan is our special guest. It's Love Month here in the X Zone, so of course, up until February the 14th, we're looking for love in all the right places, or are we? Dr. Chan is the author of Reach Your Dreams, 5 Steps to be a Conscious Creator in Your Life. Her website is www.dralicechan.com. All right, so how can somebody, let's keep using this example of this attorney, actually turn the negativity around to truly find love and happiness?
Yes, we want to solve this problem. Mm-hmm. So one of the first things that anyone in that situation should do is to become aware of these messages that are sabotaging what they want. So in an example of this attorney, she wasn't aware of the fact that one belief that all the good ones are taken, is really stopping her, because it's really unconsciously directing her behavior any chance that she has to meet someone. So it's really as simple as becoming aware of the fact that, why do I have this belief that all the good ones are taken? And really start doing a couple of things. Number one, just look around and look at all the people of different shapes and sizes, of ages, who are happily attached to someone. That is a very clear indication that that belief is so not true. And also, you know, for people who are more rational, they can just look at statistics. I mean, in the area that this attorney lives, is the San Francisco Bay Area. More than half of the people living in the area are single and very well educated. So just by looking at that fact alone, it's so not true what she's thinking. So it's really just the first step is to become aware of this particular belief. And in my book, in Chapter 2, Release, I have processes that I step people through in becoming aware of this limiting belief. That's the first step.
All right, tell me, Doctor, what was your inspiration for writing your book, Reach for Your Dreams, 5 Steps to a Conscious Creator, in your life? So what happened? Why did you decide to write this book?
Okay. So first of all, Rob, forgive me for making a very important correction. The title is Reach Your Dreams instead of Reach for Your Dreams, and that alone actually demonstrates a very important thing that we very unconsciously do, and that is when we say reach for, we don't have it. If we say we reach it, we're already there. So that's a very key distinction. And so to answer your question, really basically I was in a very bad place in my life several years ago, really feeling that I've done everything that I could do to become successful, got tons of education, became an award-winning professor at Cornell, was at that time a very successful business consultant, and yet I was feeling dead and unhappy inside because it didn't fit the mental picture of a meaningful life that I thought I was born to live. And I had an epiphany that my experiences was meant to get me to help others who are in similar positions, whether it's love, whether it's career, whether it's health, whether it's financial freedom. So that's basically coming from within my own experience that fueled the desire to produce something to help people step through what they need to do to find more joy in life.
You know, Doctor, what I've always believed is that the only difference between a dream and reality is just making it happen. And you've got to work at success. You have to work at love. Nothing comes easy. And I personally believe in today's society, everybody's expecting a quick fix. You know, you go to the doctor, you expect the pill to solve all your problems. And hard work. Life is about hard work.
Well, I partially agree with you and partially disagree. It does require action, no question about it. I mean, there are a lot of popular positive thinking literature and film and things floating out there that may make people believe they can just sit at home and visualize and then their life will be good.
I don't agree with that.
That is only a small piece of the equation. You do have to take action. Now, where your opinion and I depart is that it doesn't have to be hard work. It's just we make it hard unnecessarily.
Well, when I say hard work, what I mean is that You have to put an effort into it. It's just not going to come to you naturally.
Yes. Then we're in full
Yeah.
agreement.
Yeah.
I think what we see is that a lot of times when we act, it's out of desperation and feeling that, oh my God, I can't sit still. I got to do something, otherwise things won't change. That is a fundamentally different kind of action than action that is inspired and guided. So when we have a clear intention of what we want to do, like back to our theme today, which is about love, I want to be with someone who's right for me. You set that clear intention. You do the work of understanding why you're self-sabotaging, and then you go and take steps to make it closer to your dream, knowing that you're clearing the path. So you said earlier, I believe, that online dating is becoming very popular. So what kind of intention are you setting when you go online to meet someone? How are you describing yourself? Are you being really clear that you're not holding any beliefs that counters who you want to meet? So it's about taking action that's really guided and inspired.
This is one time I disagree with you.
Okay.
Because a lot of these online datings, and I can think of eHarmony, for example, they match your profile. And so do the other ones. eHarmony just came to mind, but let me see. There's Match.com, there's Match.com, there's ChristianSingles.com. There are more and more online dating services coming online each and every year than any other time in history. And there are more marriages and more relationships that are stemming from online relationships.
Yes.
All right, so what is the message that all right, if I was to use an online dating service, I would use it because I do not have the time. I do not like hanging around in bars. I'm looking for a specific type of person, and to me, this would be the most. This method would be the method that I would use in order to cut down all of the if, and buts that are associated with what I remember of dating.
Well, I think what we need to see online dating or any other kind of dating method, if you will, is that it is just a means to meet someone I otherwise wouldn't run into. That's all there is to it. And what is interesting about the dynamics of online dating is that you have the ability to present yourself any way you want.
Sure,
right?
I agree.
And so this is an opportunity to be very intentional about the kind of person you want to meet, and also being very clear about who you are. And so instead of putting out a profile that you think is going to attract a lot of people's interest, but they may not be right for you, you can be very intentional about who you are and who you want to attract.
So you don't agree with online dating?
No, I agree.
Okay.
I mean, I think that people need to do whatever feels right to them, right?
I see.
As you said, some people are just not going to want to hang out at bars. I actually had this very same conversation with someone a couple of years ago about, the fact that there are just not enough bars in the area for him to go and meet someone. And I would say, think about who you want to meet. Are the kinds of women who go to bars to meet people the kind of woman that you really want to have in your life? Maybe to have fun, yes. But if it is a long-term relationship with all these values and interests and aspirations that you want to share with someone, are you going to find them at a bar? So what I'm saying is that whatever the method you choose, online or otherwise, just see it as a way that you would meet someone you otherwise would miss.
It's a tool.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Exonation Dr. Alice Chan is our guest, www.dralice.chan.com. In your book, you use the word reach. Now, what is reach and how does it benefit us?
Thank you for asking that. So we started alluding to some of these ideas. REACH is basically an acronym for 5 components of a program that each of us can use to create the reality that we want, whether it's a love life, a career, or health again. And the 5 steps are: R is for release, as in release limiting messages and beliefs, like we already started talking about. E is for envision, and that is to see and feel yourself being in the conditions that you want instead of saying that I can't have it. And C is for celebrate. A is for act. That's the third letter in reach. Act is for taking purposeful, guided action, not desperate action that we already started talking about also. C is for celebrate, and that is to notice the good in your life so that you can attract more good. And there's science behind that. It's not just woo-woo. And the fifth letter, H, is for honor, and that's honor who you are and what you have done instead of judging yourself for failing and not having done enough. And so that, in a nutshell, is reach, and it really steps people through how to become conscious of any self-sabotaging beliefs and really taking action, as we were talking about, toward what would bring your dreams into reality.
Tell me, are you married? Are you in a relationship?
I am currently not in a relationship by choice.
Oh, okay. And do you practice the reach when you go out looking for Mr. Right?
Actually, I had been married twice myself, and I wasn't doing reach, and that's why I was in those relationships. And so I am practicing reach in all parts of my life, and the reason why I'm choosing not to be in a relationship right now is because I want my time to be concentrated on things I want to do. So it's a conscious choice.
All right, stand by, Dr. Chen. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Exo Nation, Dr. Alice Chen is our guest. She's the author of Reach Your Dreams, 5 Steps to be a Conscious Creator in Your Life. Her website is www.drchan.com. 1-800-610-7035 worldwide toll-free. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. I'm Rob McConnell. I'll be back on the other side of the news as we continue talking to Dr. Alice Chen here in the X Zone. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money and abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
While science pursues fact, magic accesses the quantum level, bridging random facts to form truth. As long as science and magic remain separate and polarized, the truth cannot be known. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. Join me on the Science of Magic radio program, dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. During each episode, I'll be speaking with experienced and respected scientists and mystics. From astrologers to astronomers, from medical doctors to shaman, the scientific method to dowsing and intuition, we'll weave together information from seemingly divergent practices to promote unity and enlightenment. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic right here on the Mutual Broadcast Network. For more information, visit www.thescienceofmagic.net.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Next donation, Dr. Alice Chan is our special guest this hour, www.dralicechan.com, and she's the author of Reach Your Dreams, 5 Steps to be a Conscious Creator in Your Life. During the commercial break in the news, we started talking about different things, and you have a couple of funny examples to share with us, or stories.
Yeah, so earlier you asked me if I was in a relationship, and I told you that I'm consciously not choosing not to be in one. And I think that's really important to emphasize to everybody, that sometimes we think that we should be in a relationship without questioning why. And so I know that there are things I wanted to spend time on, and nurturing a relationship is not the right thing for me for some time. And so I honor that. That's part of reach, right? The last letter, honor. But yet, there are certain times that I really like companionship. You could have companionship without, a relationship, right? And so what I wanted to share is how I used reach to manifest a couple of holiday romances. And so one of them was back in 2009. I was going to the holidays, and the holidays always make me, touches my...
Sure.
The holidays always touch my sentimental heart. And I thought, okay, I really want holiday romance. And so I described that actually in great detail in my book, in the Envision chapter of my book, on how I did that. I basically visualized what I wanted, seeing the Christmas tree in my house and the music that would be playing and the setting that I would like to have, and all short of not being able to see who was going to fulfill this vision with me. And then that was a couple of months before the holidays. And so I released that vision and paid attention to what would come and what actions I needed to take. And so a couple of weeks before Christmas, I actually met a guy, and he fulfilled that exact vision I had, because I believed it was the right thing for me to do. I did all the right steps of envisioning what I wanted. I honored the fact that I didn't want a long-term relationship at the time, and I followed through with action when I was supposed to go somewhere to meet this person. And so the whole picture played out as I wanted. So that's one example.
Okay.
Do you want me to go to a second one?
Yeah, please.
So the second one was just this past holiday season. So last year, I was very, very busy writing my book and doing all the things to do the work that I was called to do with this REACH program. And so again, I searched my heart, and I was not in the place that I wanted to be, to spend time to divert from that. And so holiday time approached, and I thought, okay, no long-term relationship. I still want a holiday romance. And so you talked about online dating earlier and asked me if I believed in it. I went on Match.com. In early December, with a very clear intention of the kind of person I wanted to meet. I wrote my profile in such a way that I met someone who was very spiritual, very much like me in terms of having spiritually grounded, but also really knowing how to take action to get what they want. And so I had my holiday romance just like I wanted, without a long-term relationship, because that was my clear intention.
Did the people that you ended up having the holiday relationships with, did they know that's all you wanted, was a holiday romance?
Yeah, because they are in the same place too.
Huh.
Yes. Now,
Friends
one
with
of the
benefits,
things
I see.
that society doesn't do us any favors by is, again, we don't question why by a certain age we must be in a relationship. Now, I want to be very clear that I am not anti-relationship. I think that everybody should be very clear about what they want and honor that. Some people really want to nest and have a relationship. Wonderful. And I'm sure at some point I would want that too. Right now it's not right for me. And in the meantime, be very clear that if you want companionship, you want someone to share good experiences with, be clear about that too, because there are people who are also in the same boat. It's okay. Either is fine. Be very clear about your intention, honor where you are, and don't beat up on yourself if you're not ready for something long term. And the worst that can happen is you go in looking for Mr. Right, Mrs. Right, and you're not in the right place for either, and that frustrates you because you're not in the right place.
So basically what you're saying is, live your life to the fullest. If you just want a friend relationship with benefits, be honest with yourself and be honest with the other person.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. And that's where the conscious part comes in, that you're not trying to respond to societal programming or what someone expects of you, that, you carry on with your entire life feeling that you should, and realize that, that's a should. That's not really what I want. Honor that. Honor whatever you're ready for at this point in your life.
Now, you stress the importance of taking action, but just not any action. Can you talk more about that?
Sure. So with action, a lot of times when we tie it to a dream, again, whether it's a relationship, a long-term relationship you want, or you're stuck in a dead-end career, or you're unemployed for that matter, and the idea of getting your dream job, your dream relationship just seemed like such a big barrier. It seems like moving a mountain, and it would scare off anybody, right? So what we want to do is just really think about, instead of trying to move a mountain, to move a couple of rocks at a time. And so what I guide people to do, particularly in the ACT chapter or piece of the REACH program, is how you can break this intimidating dream or big goal down into bite-sized chunks and be able to just focus on that one little chunk at a time that anybody can do. And so it's really a process of breaking down what you want into something achievable, and that's going to get you eventually where you want to go. And while you just focus on that one little piece that's very achievable at a time.
What does it mean to notice grace every day, and how does that make us happier?
Thank you for asking that. Basically, one artifact of our brain is that because even though from society's standpoint, we have advanced a lot through centuries and what have you, but from a physiological standpoint, we haven't evolved that much from the hunting days when we basically have to worry about survival. So what happens is that our brain is wired to notice negative experiences, how things may threaten our safety. And positive experiences need to be 5 times as powerful before they will even register with us. So what happens is that we walk around, thinking that life really doesn't work for us. Whether, again, it's back to our attorney story, or that we can't get a job, or whatever it is. What I'm emphasizing in terms of celebrating grace in our life is to train our mind to notice good things as often as possible. And it doesn't have to be big effort. It's just really 2 very simple things. One, before you go to sleep every night, just take a couple of minutes to remember what you're grateful for from your day, whether it's your family or a stranger bought you a coffee, or that it was a beautiful day in the dead of winter, whatever it is. Just to train your mind to notice that grace, the positive stuff in your life. And also take a couple of, like a 5-minute break during your day, particularly a stressful day. Walk around the block and get your mind to focus on what's good. Again, whether it's a beautiful sunny day in the dead of winter, or a smile that you got from a stranger, because we take these things for granted. Yet these little habits really help us to retrain our mind to notice good, so that we can counter beliefs like all the good ones are taken, or that the economy sucks and I can't get a job. Just do that, because it's actually based on science research that you can actually retrain your mind and make you more magnetic to what you want.
You say that we should look at life as a labyrinth. Now, how does this perceptive help us,
I'm glad you asked that. So a lot of times the negative part of us, our inner judge, would come out and tell us that, you're 45 years old and you're not living the life that you're supposed to live. Look at other people who are at your age. They are married with kids, and there you are, you're single and not fulfilled. And so what I want to recommend to everybody is to look at life in a different perspective. Imagine that you're going up to the sky, looking back down on earth on your life as a labyrinth, which is like a maze. And instead of a straight path, it's actually really windy. It goes every which way. But if you keep following that path a few steps at a time, eventually you get to where you need to go. And so instead of panicking and looking at where you are and where you have been, if you take this perspective, you see that it is just the way life is. It's unpredictable, but if I keep going, I'll get to where I want to go. And the other point is that your labyrinth, the pattern of your labyrinth is distinctive to you. So do not compare yourself to others. Do not let society's expectations and others' expectations rule your life and make you believe in the judgments that you have of yourself. That way you can just enjoy and accept where you are and know that you're just going to keep going, doing what you believe consciously makes you happy, and you get to where you need to go, again, whether it's a relationship, a job, or whatever it is that you want, and you can keep practicing that. And so you welcome more joy and passion in your life that way.
What if someone really doesn't know what they want? Is it hopeless for them to live the life of their dreams anyway?
Absolutely not. In fact, in the years that I've worked with folks, I come across more people who don't know what they want. In fact, I had a group this past weekend, a small group of folks, and half the people said, I don't even know. My dream is to know what my dream is. I said, well, congratulations, because you know what? You have actually the right ingredients to figure out what you want. Life presents us with contrasting experiences to help us figure out what we want. So the first thing that anybody can do in that situation is to start making an inventory of all the things that you don't want. Pivot to the opposite, and that's your first step in terms of getting what you want. If you feel like you underworked, you overworked, underpaid, underappreciated, flip to the opposite and watch that job that has all those conditions come to you. That happened to me, and so I guarantee that it will work.
How can you guarantee that'll work? I've
done it many times.
But that's you. That doesn't mean that everyone has the same formula or the same ingredients of the recipe to make it work for them.
Oh, but I'm presenting them with that recipe. If you do the work in terms of releasing any limiting beliefs that you have, and you actually believe that you can have the conditions that you want, and you take guided action and not judge yourself for having fallen off your path, and do the inviting grace into your life, I guarantee it will work. It is not my rules. These are universal principles that work for everybody, and when it doesn't work, it's because we don't pay attention to them.
All right, if these are universal principles and the rules and that have been set forth by the universe way back when, how come we don't know that? How come we have to be taught this?
Because we don't know that because the people who are really well-intended don't know that themselves. And so we keep perpetuating living life the hard way. I can literally say that we have been living life the hard way. And so, but the good news, again, is that we don't have to stay that way. We can learn what apparently not enough people know for thousands of years. And we are at a stage of awakening to these universal principles. I'm not the only person teaching them, and I'm just one of the messengers who happen to be talking with everybody who's listening right now to pay attention to these principles. So instead of worrying about why we weren't taught that before, commit to set the intention today to learn these principles. If you really want more joy and passion in your life, and being February, you really want love in your life, whether it's a long-term relationship or companionship that works for you right now.
If someone is new to conscious living principles, Doctor, do you have any quick tips to offer them?
Yes, I definitely do. And I was there several years ago when I was new to all this, and it seemed really overwhelming to me. First suggestion I have to everybody is to be kind to yourself. Think of it as you're exercising muscles that you didn't know you have. And so just like when you're trying to build muscle tone, at the beginning it feels like it takes a lot of effort, But if you keep at it, eventually the muscle tone will build, and everything will become easier. The effort is not going to be there, and it's actually going to be fun. Okay, that's thought number one. Two more. The second thought is, don't underestimate the power of forgiveness. And again, in terms of relationships and career that I've help other people notice,
right,
is that they hold a lot of anger and negative thoughts about what they don't have. Back to the attorney that I mentioned at the start of this interview, that the attorney holds so much resentment that she should have, if she had every condition that she could possibly have to attract a good mate, why didn't she have it? She had a lot of resentment. Release that resentment. Forgive that. Okay? And same thing with the job situation. If you have been mistreated, release that. Work on forgiving. The third tip that I have for someone who's new to this is gratitude. The grace point that we talked about. Start keeping a gratitude journal before you go to sleep every night. It may seem gratuitous at the beginning when you do that, but really just keep that in.
As host of Dialogue with Divinity, I am thrilled to join the X-Zone Broadcast Network and their growing number of affiliates. My quest for a connection to the divine ignited my successful career path as an international spiritual counselor for over 40 years, an author of 4 books, and well-known metaphysical educator. My clients call me their spiritual mama. So my job is to offer you a radio show to help you grow spiritually with wisdom and get specific tools from guests who are experts in their field. Tune in to Dialogue with Divinity and be part of the conversation with Spirit. My goal, your happy soul. For more information, please visit my website at johannacarroll.com.
Coming soon to the X-Zone Broadcast Network is A Different Perspective with me, Kevin Randall, as your host. We'll be taking a close look at what is happening in the world of UFOs today with side trips into the paranormal. Guests will range from those who are household names to those who have a different perspective on a variety of topics. No topic will be taboo, but there will be tough questions asked as we all search for the truth about UFOs, the paranormal, and those things that excite us. Sometimes we'll agree with a guest and sometimes we won't, but we'll try to keep the program topical. For those of you who like to read, be sure to visit www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com and remember to listen to the other fine programs on the X-Zone Broadcast Network at www.xzbn.net. This is Kevin Randall. For nearly 30 years, I have been investigating the case of the Roswell UFO. I have interviewed hundreds of people and stood on the crash site. Now in Roswell in the 21st century, I have reviewed dozens of hours of audio and videotaped interviews, examined hundreds of files that relate to the crash, and have returned to Roswell in an attempt to put all that information into the proper perspective. For the first time in Roswell in the 21st century, I have made a dispassionate reevaluation of all that material and provide a new look at what happened. This is a book that clears away all the clutter that has hidden the truth for so long, strips away the various lies that surround the case, exposes the Air Force attempts at cover-up, and found a core of solid information that tells us all where the case stands today. Roswell in the 21st century will be available in just a few weeks. For more information, please visit my website at www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com.
Afterlife expert Roberta Grimes was the first one to say that dying can be fun. Now her best-selling book, The Fun of Dying, is available in stores worldwide. So if you wonder whether death ends life, how it feels to die, or what heaven might be like, The Fun of Dying was written for you. And if you have always been afraid of death, or if you worry that your life has no meaning, let The Fun of Dying ease your fears and bring new meaning to your life. Nothing said in The Fun of Dying is based on the teachings of any religion. Instead, Roberta draws on evidence to explain how death happens, how it feels, and what comes next. A lot of the best death-related evidence was produced in the first half of the 20th century. When it is put together with recent discoveries, it tells a consistent and amazing story. Roberta Grimes blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Her wonderful book, The Fun of Dying, is available on Amazon and at stores worldwide wherever books are sold. You know, Exonation, I've always said that life is very simple. We as humans love to complicate things. You know, it seems, Doctor, that if it's not complicated, it can't be real. But I want to thank you so much for joining us because, as we were saying during the commercial break, I love the way that you want to help people. Plus, I love your honesty.
Thank you. I think to live happily for everybody is first to be honest with ourselves and accept who we are. I mean, we all have such a strong inner critic within us telling us how we fail and all that. Just learn to realize that that's just a scared little kid within us that never really learned to love ourselves. And when we get to be honest, we realize that, you know what, that we couldn't ever screw up our lives even if we tried.
What would you like to share with the X Zone Nation, Doctor? What are your final thoughts for us? We have about 2 minutes left.
I just want to tell everybody that regardless of what circumstances you're in, and I've met some people who are just really scraping by in life, to truly have faith that the reason why you're still living and breathing is because there's more joy and passion for you to have. Mm-hmm. And I personally can say that because I almost died a couple of years ago from a car accident. And so just hang on to the faith that if you're willing to believe, a joyful and passionate life is truly within your reach.
Does the word impossible exist in your vocabulary?
No.
Mine neither. Neither. And you know what? I see so many people every day doing this great job I have who just give up so easily because they don't have the right mentoring or they haven't been surrounded by the right group of friends. They don't have the information that you are now willing to share with them. And how can they get a copy of your book, Doctor?
Sure. The best place to start is go to my website, www.dralice.com, that's CHAN, not EN, .com. And while you're there, I want to offer you a free gift. For anyone who want to sign up to download my a free set of Reach Your Dreams tools, they contain all the processes that I have in my book to help you with, again, a dream relationship or a dream job, whatever it is that you have. That's for free. You just need to sign up on my website, and there you have it. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that because I'm so happy to be on this show today, that I want to offer everybody a 50% off a 6-week teleseminar that I'm going to be doing starting in March for 6 weeks. And so I step everybody through how to use Reach to reach, again, your relationship dream or your career dream or your health dream. So to do that, go to my website and then at /activate, ACTIVATE, because the name of this teleseminar is Release the Old, Activate the New. So this is your commitment to yourself to activate the life that you're here to live joyfully and passionately. I'm giving everybody 50% off. Wow.
Doctor, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to the next time you and I meet here in the X Zone.
Same here. Have a great time.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
Bye-bye now. Dr. Alice Chan has been my guest this hour. We'll be back on the other side of the news at 6.5 minutes past as we continue here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob.